Hey, lovely India TV Forumians. Today we have a cool and wicked dude. What should I say? Loving dad from whatever little pictures that we have seen. And of course, what else can I say but someone who is very happening, multi-talented again, not just acting, but has also delved into a few other things. So we have none other than Amit Tandon. Hi, Amit.
Hi, how are you? And hi to all the fans of India TV.
Forum, that's what we are. So,
India TV Forum, sorry, okay.
Yeah, that's how we call ourselves. And Amit, at the outset, a big, big thank you to you for taking our call and doing this for us. It's going to go a long way.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So Amit, I want to head straight into some questions which I would like to ask from my side first, and this is sort of a very informal conversation that normally we conduct with celebrities and stars. And next time around, at a mutually convenient time, we take questions from the fans, and then maybe you could even address them. So, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
That'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah. So Amit, you have, of course, I did a little wiki on you, and I myself did watch you a little on the show called Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, where you portrayed, I said, the role of Manthan, and I think I kind of quite liked you. I mean, a sort of a spoilt brat, but at the same time a heart of gold kind of character that you portrayed there. And then you went on to do one of the most, I think, successful youth-based shows, Dil Mil Gaye. And so how was your journey, like working for different producers and different creative houses?
Well, I think it's always a good journey to be able to play different types of roles, and that too with different producers who have different takes on characters, different mindset towards their shows. Working with Balaji, I had originally done a show called Kaisa Ye Pyar Hai on Sony, which was also a youth-based show,
right,
where I was a very light-hearted, simple man who eventually turned into a negative character. And following that was Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, which was obviously a very landmark show for Indian television. I think probably one of the longest-running shows on Indian television, and definitely one of the most popular. And personally speaking, I loved the character of Manthan. I think when I was offered that by Ekta, she had a lot of conviction in me as well. She felt like I could play this part very well. And when I saw the character of Manthan, I really fell in love with it because, yes, even though he was a very spoiled brat and he always did things to irk his cousins and brothers, but somewhere I wanted to maintain something that's nice so that he doesn't go over the top and just all out negative. So I wanted to maintain a loving relationship with my mother or my sister, and to show that, you know, he's a very realistic character. I mean, not everybody who is spoiled is a bad person.
Correct.
Sometimes, you know, being spoiled is just the upbringing. So I try to carry it that way. And then, yeah, Dil Mil Gaye, of course, was a big hit amongst the young crowd, and to this day I still get lots of messages on Facebook and my email that from the fans who've been very loving. I think always one thing I can always appreciate about my fans is they've always been very supportive in all of my endeavors, and they carried on the same with this show.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. And actually, I think you did come back very briefly also once the new show came back. And I think in Dil Mil Gaye, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know if I can say this and I'm allowed to say this, I have been saying this, the show got overhyped more for all this off-screen histrionics rather than actually what was going on in the actual show itself. I mean, that sort of overtook, and the show itself and the actors and their capabilities, and it was so much of a drama that had to go on. And
right, I agree with you.
It is called Dil Mil Gaye, and I think except for the last scene, I think no other couple other than yours, you and Nikki, Abhimanyu, Modi and Nikki, whose jodi sort of ended in an engagement, whereas, you had all the other jodis where we used to say it was not Dil Mil Gaye, but it was Dil Bichhad Gaye kind of thing. So, and so how was your...
That's true. I never thought of it like that, but now that you brought it to my attention, that's true. I mean, I guess Nikki and I were one of the only jodies to actually ever come together. Everyone else always went their own way, their separate ways. So I guess we were lucky that way.
Yeah. So, and of course, you also delved into reality shows, and you did do something. You had your own album as well, isn't it, Amit?
Yes, I had to create an album. I think it was about 2 years ago from Tips Music called Tanha, and my first experience with an album. And now I'm also in the midst right now of recording and getting mixed together for a Punjabi album that I'm planning now.
Okay.
But that'll be all out dance and a very high energy album, which I need to kind of somewhat to match my image as well. So I want to really go all out with that. But yeah, that's coming up soon.
Okay.
But music, yes, has always been a passion of mine, and that was one avenue I had to be able to portray that. And reality shows have kind of been a constant in my career so far. Started off with Indian Idol. Actually started off with Channel V Pop Stars, which was my original. I think my first break in the industry was that, and then from there I became a VJ. Then Indian Idol came around, and then I jumped towards television, and then Zara Nach Ke Dikha and Superstar and things like that. But I love doing reality shows, and to be honest, I may even end up delving into another singing reality show soon, because it's one of those avenues which I feel like now that I feel more prepared as a singer, and I think now would be a good time to kind of make an entry back into that. And although I am doing albums on the side, I think reality shows offer you a platform that nothing else really offers. And with the pop music scene being the way it is in the Asian market, and especially in India, it's very weak because
that's right. That's what I was about to ask you next. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so because it's so weak, reality shows really offer you the platform to perform in front of millions and pretty much such large audiences from television. And so I would definitely want that opportunity again.
Oh, that would be nice. And so we shall look forward to it, and we wish you all the best on that count, Amit. And I hope you do scale heights of success in that area of your talent as well. And so how do you rate present-day television, Amit? I mean, I don't know whether, India on one hand is shining. This is one I've always been cribbing to many of the celebrities, saying that why are the shows so regressive? Why can't they move with times and cater to one section of society which is modern? And especially now, we are spoiled for choice even abroad. It's not, Indian television is not just restricted to India. I can sit here at the flick of a button, watch Star or Sony or Z or you name it, and it is beamed here. And then when you see those shows and you are saying, what is happening? Why can't some bit of, I'm not saying that you bring in reality completely and make it a heavy, soppy stuff or something. you can have light-hearted stuff too, but a little realistic. Why are we failing there?
I think the best answer to that question that I at least know and that producers have told me is that at the end of the day, we've got to realize that what we consider ourselves to be the classes compared to the masses are still only, I would say, a total of 5 to 10% of what real India is still about.
That's true.
And because channels nowadays are just catering towards those masses, obviously because they generate the television rating points, which give them the incomes and allow them to keep carrying on the shows. I think for them, they keep catering to those type of audiences. So, you know what? I always believe that the audience, until we stop taking whatever they're giving, that's the only way changes will happen. So unless as a collective audience we stop acknowledging such shows and stop watching such shows, and we realize that we have to give them new programming and realistic programming and contemporary programming. Until then, I sadly to say, because I don't relate myself with such television, and I find it very regressive myself, especially being born and raised in the U.S. For me, it's been something it's very foreign to me. And although as an actor you love to do different things, but because television is a daily thing, I wouldn't want to do that on a daily basis. If it was like a one-off film project or something, I would still enjoy it, because because you're a television star's or television actor's life it becomes a part of you. You become that character in some way because you're playing that on a daily basis for sometimes a year, 2 years. So for me, it's something I just can't relate to, and sadly to say, it looks like that's the way it's going to be, at least until the audiences change their taste for what they want to watch and the different types of programming come.
So, I mean, I do understand that part of it, Amit. But I mean, I did ask a few things. Like, for example, when we are, I mean, they can cater to a few shows meant for, these kind of, which I'm sure has a sizable market too. That's what I feel sad that they're not tapping this particular area, because I'm sure like all these shows are, they're quite a big hit. And I think off late now, I don't know if you watch, I think the only show that endears me, which is wholesome family entertainment, is this one on Star Plus called Sasural Genda Phool, which is sort of where you can sit and watch it off and then, it's over. But all the others, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and also, I don't know the creatives. I'm sure there's so much hard work that goes on to a 20-minute episode that is being aired, and we are not sitting here and just criticizing. I mean, I do appreciate everything, but sometimes the bloopers, as they call, are so. I mean, yeah. Sorry, Amit. So I was just saying that. I mean, I do appreciate all the hard work that goes on behind a 20-minute show that is being aired. And so I don't want to deride that or ridicule that aspect of things, because I can imagine how much, on a daily basis you have to churn out some story or the other. And then I guess you have to weigh what is it that the audience is liking it. But in the process, sometimes I think the entire credibility and sensibility is being lost.
Very true. And the thing is, to give you an example, I mean, when Dil Mil Gaye had originally come out, although it was a popular show, but even at its height of popularity, its maximum TRP was probably, I think, a 1.7, 1.8. And for the last year, I think it was barely even, it was under 1 for a very long time.
Yes.
So comparatively, if you compare to shows like Sasural Genda Phool and things like that, those shows touched TRP almost 4 or 5, sometimes 6.
Right.
So comparatively, if you look at it, and even though Dil Mil Gaye was a very popular show, and it surprised me that the TRPs were so low, but that's what kind of gives you an idea that, when it comes to the masses, these type of shows don't really carry forward. And I totally agree with you. For me, I can't watch shows like the ones I view on television now, because, as I said, if you can't relate to what you're watching to, it's very difficult to, because as an audience, you always want to put yourself in the same situation, and be it if it's a romantic love story or something that it's a lighthearted story or anything, even if it's a serious situation, something that you can understand, And I will say there are some shows that are interesting, Balika Badhu and things like that started off on a very interesting note, and something at least that's different. But I think what happens in television is there's a lot of copycats. A lot of people who follow success. So if something goes well, everyone says, let's follow that same path and do the same thing, rather than thinking out of the box and trying to come up with new types of programming.
Correct. I mean, now that you brought about Dil Mil Gaye, for example, that was supposed to be a youth-based show, fine. It was supposed to be set in a hospital environment. And there was, I mean, you can show the romance part and you can show all of it, but they should have shown it a little more realistic, and I think that is where Dil Mil Gaye lost it. I'm not saying that I'm sure that a rural audience or even the small town audiences and the viewers would have appreciated if there was some storyline to it. There was no medical case. You could have taken up a medical case and then brought in everything, revolving around that. It was the same paracetamol in being subscribed, which even a driver can tell you if you have fever, you take a paracetamol and you should be fine, kind of thing. And here you're supposed to be medics, and there was remotely nothing connected. And it totally, I feel very pained.
I agree with you. Yes.
And I
agree with you, actually.
Yes.
The thing with that is it has a lot to do with the writers, I believe. Although I'm probably saying this and it's not something that as an actor you'd want to say, but I believe the writing needs to improve, the thinking needs to improve. I think, there are shows like, this show was supposed to be based somewhat roughly on Grey's Anatomy and Scrubs and things like that, and a combination of that. And if you look at Grey's Anatomy, yes, there's a lot of romance in Grey's Anatomy. There's a lot of, what we're going to call lightheartedness that happens in those type of shows. But they don't miss the point of keeping you interested. If there's a case, there's certain ways to, I felt, because Sanjeevani, I think the original show that was on air was a very successful show. It was a very popular show.
True.
And I think even that at one point it had beat out Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahuti in TRP. So that tells you just by itself that those type of shows can work with, a medical background and things like that. But somewhere I do think we lost the plot, and it went on to a totally soapy, just a love story, and I mean, I just felt like a lot of things have been rehashed and redone that were,
exactly.
So I think the audience also see it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to understand the audience is very intelligent, and the same thing that can make you very popular, when done again and when repeated, can make you lose that same popularity. And I think that's happening with everything.
Exactly. And it was not only like, rehashing the same thing, and it was also very tackily done, Amit. I'm sorry to say that, but I think that's what. And then the audience reject it. After all, they are the kings here. One click of a button and you don't have to watch that show anymore. They go to watch something else.
That's it. One click of a button changes you from being popular to being unemployed.
That is true. And like, it's not even like a film. If you go to watch a film in a cinema, you paid the money, you sit through it for 3 hours, but here you're at the comfort of your home, on your city, on your couch, and you say, okay, no, this is not my cup of tea. I'm just not going to do this anymore.
Exactly. That's why television has. See, the advantages of television also have that many big disadvantages. If you keep the story interested, it's the easiest way to reach the largest amount of people. That's why you notice a lot of stars and film stars coming in, also because of the fact that, yes, they're being paid ridiculous amounts of money to do that. But on top of that, they also realize that this is the easiest way to reach millions of people, on a daily basis. And you become a part of them. And they become a part of you. So I think, let's hope. I've kept my fingers crossed that some new type of programming comes out, and then things can definitely improve.
Yeah, unfortunately, every time I think the Indian subcontinent is on the crossroads or at the crossroads. I don't know when we'll cross over. Actually, neither here nor there, kind of a situation. But as you say, I hope things do move in the right direction. And then, no one is here to do charity. That is for sure. Everyone wants to, I agree. You want to fill up your coffers and your bank accounts. Besides that, it's also the creative satisfaction, I think, which has to, play a very, very important part. And I hope it does happen, because you do see, when you can then start seeing the disinterest in the actors also, because when the script and the thing is not good, they just come to do it like a job. And I think acting cannot be done that way. Do you agree? So
I definitely agree. I think acting, the moment it becomes a job, it shows on screen, and it makes you look stiff. I mean, acting, to me, acting has always been a very natural progression. It's not something that, I always hear about people getting into the character and things like that.
Okay.
I believe that the best way to play a character is to be able to put yourself in that situation and try to play it how you would do, as yourself. That's what I always do.
Sure.
Is that if I were to be a psychotic lover, or the head of a hospital, or a spoiled son, or even a killer or whatever, I would say, how would Amit Tandon act in that type of a situation? And that's how I try to portray my characters.
Right.
And so if doing a role, if I say I have to play the role of someone who is, in the village and doing things that don't seem even natural to me. I don't know. For me, it would be interesting at one point or at one level, but to be able to have to do that on a daily basis, I don't know if I would be able to do something like that. I mean, I guess it's all about trial and error.
Yeah. And then also, I should admit this, because of the shows that are being shown, one also has a very condescending attitude towards the actor, also saying, oh God, this guy must be something dumb to do something like this, and which is very wrong. And I was very judgmental, and then my perception has changed since, because especially I've been talking to quite a few of you, and then I say, oh no, these people are educated, they are smart. No, they're just doing some job there, which is not them actually. So, I thought I should just tell you that also, because I promise I had, like I said, oh God, what, some Indian television show showing some crap, and then some actors doing something equally rubbish kind of, attitude, which is very wrong. So I do want to apologize for, thinking on those lines, and but so.
No, I think that's totally fine, and I think that it's natural for that to happen, so it's okay.
Right. And so, Amit, I think we've done a little bit of all the heavy stuff now. Let's do some light-hearted stuff. So you're a nice, loving dad. I did see some pictures of your cute little daughter. So how is it? How is it being a father?
I can honestly say it's the most amazing experience of my whole life. And that experience is it's continuous on a daily basis. I honestly learn something more about myself and something more about my daughter Gianna. And I can't describe it. It's really something that you just have to experience. I've always heard about what it's like, and I was like, is it really so great? Or, I always heard that there's such big responsibility. And yes, it is a big responsibility because you've brought a brand new life into this world. But I just think the amazing thing about fatherhood and about children itself is, I watch my child taking on characteristics of me, characteristics of my wife, sometimes even characteristics of my mother, my father, her grandmother, just different things. And it's if they say the most of, we become a very technologically advanced society now, and everything's at the tip of your fingertips and a touch of a button, but nothing beats the ability to create life. And I think just seeing Gianna grow and her smile and the way she plays around and the way she reacts, she's a very expressive child, and she's very alert. Okay. Even from the first day, she was very alert, and I think she has taken on my traits of loving the camera and being, I think so. She may end up following in Daddy's footsteps eventually, but I'm just, like I said, I'm in awe of her, and she's obviously become my world now, and me and my wife Ruby are loving every moment of it.
Oh, okay, so Daddy's girl, all daddies claim that, don't they? Mummies don't have anything to do with it, isn't it? Just bring them onto earth and then...
she's definitely Daddy. She's definitely Daddy's girl, and I think she's going to make full use of that when it comes to her desires in life and to getting whatever she wants, because she already has that power over me. I was a very spendthrifty kind of a guy. I would always spend a lot of, if I were to make a certain amount, I would always spend a lot of it as well. And now, once she's come, it's like whatever I used to spend on myself, I just spend on her, and the rest I put towards spending on her in a future date. So it's everything has become totally about her now.
She's overtaken everything, so she is like, now. So that's nice. Yeah, and it's nice to hear that, and I'm sure she's going to also grow up into a lovely little girl now to start with, and then into a lovely young lady future, and then you'll have to watch out how many hearts she's going to break.
Yeah, well, she can break as many hearts as she wants, but her daddy will be right by her side as a bodyguard, and I'll definitely. Yeah, so daddy, especially Punjabi daddy, it'll be tough for her to be able to.
That's not fair, Amit. You must have had your share of fun, and you should let her have hers later. Anyway, it's not. It's early days now.
Yeah, but now Now I realize, and people I used to date tell me, just wait till you have a daughter, or just wait. So now I know what it feels like, and so and they used to always say, watch out for the girl with the overprotective father. Well, she's got one, so but we're gonna raise her. We'll raise her to obviously make her own decisions, and as long as I think we do that, I think she'll be fine.
Right. So Amit, now tell us a little more about yourself. So you have grown. You were born in the U.S. too, or have you just grown there? And how did you come to India?
No, I was born and raised in New York, and pretty much spent my whole life there. Okay. 24 years of my life, and eventually, after I graduated college, and I was about to start law school, and then I don't know, I always had it inside me that I wanted to come to Bollywood, as they say, or and in India, and do something in this entertainment industry. But being born and raised there was a very difficult process for me to tell my family that hey, I want to go and I want to do this stuff, because they thought there was probably something mentally wrong with me, because most people have that dream of leaving India and going abroad, and things like that. And for someone who was totally raised in that American society to say that, hey, I want to go be an actor, I want to do this, I think my dad definitely had lots of sleepless nights because of me. But eventually I did make that decision to do it, and to come to India. And with God's grace, it's been an interesting journey. I mean, I won't say that there's always ups, there are downs, but for the most part of it, I've been very lucky and privileged that I've been able to have such an opportunity. And it feels nice to be known and to be appreciated for your work. And it just you always have to kind of tap yourself and realize that, hey, it's a very nice life, and it's a very privileged life at the same time to be able to experience certain things like this.
Right.
And so I've enjoyed it. It's been great.
And did you know the language? Could you speak Hindi and other things before, or you learned it while on the job?
I would say 50-50. When I first came, I had a very strong U.S. accent, and even now I have to try to fight it.
Okay.
Because most people can't even understand what I'm saying. Okay. So I have to usually fight the American accent. Hindi, I was good at Hindi, but I definitely had to learn it. I definitely had to become sharper at it. And surprisingly, after my first show, I really kicked it into second gear and to really learn the language and to really focus on getting good with the language. And because, that is our way of obviously reaching our audience. And so I pretty much had a good control of it. Probably, I would say by the second year I was here.
Okay, that's good. I must have been familiar also back home. So, back home in the in US.
Well, generally we would speak in English, but
but still some familiarity.
But there would be a little bit of Hindi.
That is true. That's right.
Yeah.
So, how do you regret for having taken this step, or it's always been good?
No, I definitely don't regret the decision. It is difficult at times because I am away from my family. My mother, father, brother, sister, everyone lives in the States, and pretty much my whole family lives in the States.
Right.
So that would definitely be something that I do miss. I mean, and luckily, as we speak, my parents have come to visit me and things like that. And I was away for about 6 to 7 months in the U.S. for the birth of my child. But other than that, I mean, you do miss family and things like that. And but otherwise, I'm very happy that I made that decision because this is something I've always wanted to do, and I still feel like there's a long way to go before I realize even my true potential as an entertainer, as an actor or a singer. So I just feel like it's a journey, and I could never see myself living that routine journey, and I wanted to do something different. And God has given me the opportunity to be able to live that. So I'm happy. I mean, it's fun. It's a nice life.
Good. I think at least you had the opportunity to pursue your dream, and so many of them even don't get that chance. So I guess you should count your blessings on that. And you did get the support eventually, I'm sure, from your family too, to realize your dream. And I'm glad that we got to know Amit Tandon too. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known if he was just somebody else doing some, I'm sure making even more buckets and buckets of money pursuing a law course. And, because in America, the lawyers, as they call them, liars, are, how they make their money. But yeah, that was nice and glad. So Amit, would you like to sing a little 1 or 2 lines of any song of yours that you are a new one, or the one that you have already done from Tanha, or your Indian Idol signature song, whatever? I'll leave it to you if you're up to it.
Kind of on the spot. Let me see. I'm trying to think of a song.
Okay.
What can I sing for my audience? Give me a second. I always become blank when these moments come.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah. Take your time.
Okay. Yeah. I'll sing you a song from. Should I sing you something from my album, or do you want me to sing you something from a?
Whatever you want to. It's the choice is yours.
Okay. This is really. I love this song now that I just heard. मैं जहाँ रहूं मैं कहीं तेरी किसी से कहूँ कि नहीं कहूँ, ये जो दिल की बात है, कहने को साथ अपने एक दुनिया चलती है, पर छुपके से दिल में तन्हाई पड़ती है। बस है तेरी है, ओ तेरी है, तेरी है। मैं जहाँ रहूं, मैं कहीं भी हूँ, तेरी
Wow, that was lovely. What a wide range. You started with a low thing and you went off onto another scale. Lovely.
Yeah, I was a little afraid that things would start cracking because my baby's sleeping in the other room, and I was just afraid that she would wake up and start crying. But luckily, Daddy didn't disturb her.
No, that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful, and you should continue to pursue this with much more seriousness, Amit. And I'm sure you're going to go play.
I will, and I thank you. And I would love to also share my first album with you, or my second album now.
Yeah.
My first Punjabi album, as soon as I get it all recorded and ready to go.
Please.
And I'll definitely share that with my India right away.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amit. And it was such a pleasure talking to you. It doesn't feel that, like it was my first time. And it's like as if, I don't know, I knew you from, I don't know, Yonks. And we went on. And I'm so glad that you could do this for us at India TV Forum. And we are very, very grateful to you. And we will continue to be in touch. And hope our association just continues to grow and blossom. And anything else you would like to?
I appreciate that.
And you want to convey something to your fans before we sign off?
As always, it's been, this is my 7th year now in this journey as an actor, singer, and I've always received lots of love from my fans, and I would just hope that you continue to watch me or hear me and continue your support, and I am honestly with heartfelt gratitude towards all of you because of you watching me and listening to me. That's why I'm still here, and I will do my best to entertain you for as long as I can.
Oh, that was nice, lovely, Amit, and thanks to you too for doing this for us once again. And please hold the line when I turn the recording off.